Hanging Out with God by Jennifer Cochran. Creation. Something from nothing. Light separated from darkness. Spoken, existence. Created, beautiful, perfect, made. Made to fellowship, made to love, just made. Made because he wanted, made because he loved, made because God wanted to hang out. God wanted to hang out with Adam and Eve, and he wanted to hang out with you and me. God wanted to. A life, a breath, a soul, a spirit, he breathed. Corruption. Adam and Eve given. Given a perfect home, a perfect garden, perfection, choice, freedom, free to choose. Eyes fixed on God and each other or self. Choosing the latter, thinking to become like the Creator, a choice that led to separation, exile, darkness, death. That choice to be bred into the DNA of everyone thereafter. No longer to be free, no perfect, no garden, now bound, shackled to the choice. Commandments, requirements, do's and don'ts. I just keep thinking, why do you give me these lists, these restrictions, these boundaries, these rules, what have appeared to be out of hate? But you don't hate, you love. So why? Why these rules? Why these boundaries? Why these restrictions? Because you lovingly wanted to clarify this. This out here, this way of living, this act of sin, this will separate you from me for eternity. Nothing tricky about it. It has been the same from the beginning of time until now. Nothing changing to match the decade or the political correctness. Nothing changing. Clearly defined holiness. But no one can do what has been done. Nothing can be done to undo what was inherited by our forefathers and passed to them by their forefathers and their fathers before them. Nothing one can do to undo this sin. It would take perfection, and our perfect is gone. Crucifixion. Sent, born, lived, tempted, suffered, and died. Not because Jesus had to, but because he wanted to. It was the only way. It was the only way to undo the separation that sin caused. Sent by the Father, born of the Virgin Mary, lived as a man, tempted by sin, suffered on the cross, died a criminal's death. He died a criminal's death. The only thing Jesus was guilty of is my guilt. It was me. My sin put him there, and his love held him there. His love took the lashes over his back, the thorns on his head, and the nails through his hands and feet. His love kept him there. He died there. Resurrection. Death, the grave, and hell all conquered. Oh, Satan thought he had won. 3 days in the grave, he thought Jesus was dead. But Jesus conquered hell, the grave, and death. He is a conqueror. Nothing wimpy about this man named Jesus. Death, merely a temporary state for a living God. The grave, a brief place to hold his body until he needed it again. And hell, he was just passing through to his final destination. Death, the grave, hell, none of them final for him. Salvation, available to all, no one excluded. A free gift, no way to earn it. It is a miracle. A miracle is the only way salvation can be described. A heart that has been darkened and dirty by sin, made white by applying the sacrificial crimson red. With that red, that blood, comes grace, undeserved and empowering. I don't deserve it, completely unworthy of it, but tired of shame and sin and separation. So I beg for it. I accept it. I choose it. I receive it. Sanctification. Oh, salvation may take away the guilt and the shame of all that I have done, but I want more. More of you, less of me. Less of this tendency to do what does not please you. Less selfishness, less sinful desire, and more of you, Jesus. Again, grace applied. I do not deserve to live a life fulfilled. I do not have the power to live a life victoriously. But you, God, you want nothing less for me. You want it for me, and you have provided a way for me. You, God, you. Glorification. Then, when my time on earth is done, when I have breathed my last breath, my hope is to be made perfect in heaven. My hope is to hear, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." My hope is to enter into my eternal home that was prepared for me by my heavenly Father. No more crying there. No more sadness there. No sorrow, no shame, no sin, no separation. It has all come full circle. And now I can accomplish that which I was created for. Walk and talk with you. Fellowship with the body of believers. Eternal paradise. Hanging out with God.